Hi, I'm Deputy DeLashment. I've been here with the San Joaquin Sheriff's Office for approximately 7.5 years. On January 12th, this date, 4 years ago, 2020, received a call that we had lost one of my best friends, Cesar Fuentes.
Cesar Fuentes finished work here at the jail Sunday night, then hopped on his motorcycle to drive home. He was traveling east on Matthews Road when the crash happened.
So for those who never had the opportunity or the privilege to know Cesar, probably the most outstanding things about him was that you never seen him without a smile. He would always be around, even in the worst times. Recall multiple times when we were deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan that we were in the worst places at the worst time and had really no reason to be happy about anything, but you look and you see him with a big cheese-eating grin, and that never wiped away, and that was always him. January 12, 2020, I was at home with my wife, and I received a call from another deputy, Deputy Hollis, who was also close with Cesar. He had hit me up and asked me if I knew where he was at. I said, well, I don't know, he's probably at work or just leaving work right now. I was like, typically day to work. He said, well, he heard from some of the custodial staff that was working the hospital that Cesar got admitted. I immediately get up, and my wife is in bed, and I tell her, hey, I gotta go. So I immediately jammed down to County Hospital. Driving in my Silverado, it only maxes out at 100 miles an hour. I'm trying to stay calm. I got all my buddies blowing me up, asking me what's going on. I got multiple Marines that are coming from well out of town, out of county, and I'm trying to keep them calm and say, hey, just let me figure it out first. I don't want you guys to get another accident. So I get there, and there's a couple deputies on scene, and I'm the first one out of my Marines to get there. I show up, his mom and dad are there, which might as well have been everybody's mom and dad. They loved us, they took care of us the entire time we were in the Marine Corps together. Many times that we were at their house, they would cook for us, feed us, give us drinks, and they always treated us like a second son. So once we seen them there, I looked at the table, and there was Cesar, in perfect form. Not a hair on his head was out of place. He looked perfectly normal, as if he was just sleeping. So I go up and I touch his head. He's still warm. And it's just, it was an unreal feeling. I didn't process it at the moment. So I gave his mom and dad a big hug, and I don't know what else to say. You know, it's, I was just in shock, and it didn't feel real. So as I'm there, I'm updating the Marines that are coming inbound, let them know where we're at. At that time, all patrol was notified, and they began to show up and line the hallways. And one by one, my Marines start showing up, and we start letting them in, see mom and dad, see Cesar. And, you know, we kind of dealt with it together. As we did the entire time, all of us served together in the Marine Corps. So it was beneficial to have that, that brotherhood, and I don't think we could have gotten through it without each other. At least I know I couldn't have. They started doing a 24-hour watch over Cesar while he was here with us. He had asked if I had a flag available to drape him in. And immediately it came to my mind. I told him right away, I was like, don't put any flag on him yet. I have one in place that I know that he's gonna have for him. So don't put anything on him yet. Don't let anything touch him. So that flag I had in mind is something that Cesar and I's first deployment, we got tasked out. Our whole unit went to Iraq, and a few of us got tasked out to go to Kuwait. And we're running the airfield out there, and we're assisting with all the inbound, outbound guys going either to Afghanistan or Kuwait, or excuse me, Iraq. And another part of our ancillary duties that kind of got bestowed upon us was that we did all the fallen angel ceremonies. So in the 3.5 months we were in Kuwait, we sent home approximately 158 fallen angels. Part of that ceremony is when we would send them home, we'd drape a flag over them, we'd drape white cargo straps over them, and then we sent them on their way home. part of that was we'd make sure that not a single stitch was out of the flag, not a single blemish on the straps, that so when their family received them, they were in the most perfect way possible that they could, and sent them away with the most honors. One particular flag, Cesar and I were fixing after we loaded the fallen angel on the plane, had a few stitches missing out of the stripes. So we deemed it wasn't good enough to send home. So we folded that flag up, and we draped a brand new flag that was perfect, no blemish, and sent that fallen angel home. And this was back in 2009. For whatever reason, I felt the need to keep that flag, kind of just a memento of our service during that time. Kind of a unique service that most people don't have the opportunity to do. And some might not want to do it. It's not necessarily a fun job, but it's a necessary job. And Cesar most daily did it with his utmost honors that he could. So that flag, fast forward from 2009 to 2020, when Deputy Ramos asked for a flag, I immediately drove home the next morning, and I went through my closet, opened up my foot locker, and there was a flag perfectly folded that Cesar and I folded in Kuwait. That was once for a fallen angel. So I immediately, I don't know how many hours, I haven't slept yet. I loaded that up. I put it in my passenger seat, put the seatbelt over it, didn't want anything to happen to it. And I drove it to our morgue here, and where I met with Deputy Ramos and Sergeant Berlanga from the custody side, where they were standing watch in their Class A's over Cesar. So I walked up, and without a single word said, we did the formal transfer of the flag from me to them, and I immediately wept as soon as I passed that flag off. Because I knew how much he took his duty to not only his country but his county, his family and his friends so seriously that it was almost meant to be that flag, for some odd reason, I kept on for all those years, that it went to that person. And I couldn't imagine that flag going anywhere else but to him. So that flag continued with him from our mortuary to the final resting place. And myself and another deputy, we folded the flag and presented the flag to his mom and dad, which now they have in their house amongst his giant wall of I love Cesar, all his pictures and his medals and everything. And standing next to it is a folded flag that we shared together in Kuwait, who was meant for someone else. Oddly enough, there's not a day go by that I come to work that I don't see him. I have to pass his locker every day. And my buddy had made some stickers that look like this one, this little pin I have. And so we put it on his locker, and like a good Marine, I go by, I check his locker, make sure it's on 0. So he does the drill instructors, no hazes stuff, toss it everywhere, and I give him a pound. From day in, day out, when I leave patrol, I'll say, see you later, buddy. And then when I go back home, I'll see you tomorrow.